Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today it's Monday and it's April the 25th, 2022. Happy Monday to each of you, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to extend to you a warm welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a return viewer, by all means, thank you for coming back. You know, I always say the tide changes so frequently here on these YouTube streets. So you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know, I sincerely thank you for your support. Feel free to like and to share this video. And don't forget to subscribe. And our story today takes us to Hunter Army Airfield, which is located in Savannah, Georgia. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, "An Army helicopter crash and a dead pilot. It was not an accident." I'll provide you with a summary here, and as always, I'll place links to a few of the full articles in the description box. And today our story is about 26-year-old Army Captain James Bellew, a native of Charlottesville, Virginia, who was a helicopter pilot stationed at Fort Stewart in Georgia. The Army has reported that Captain Bellew was killed in a plane crash involving two Black Hawk helicopters during the early morning of March the 30th, 2022, which is about 3 weeks ago. He was found deceased at the site of the crash later that morning, and due to the circumstances surrounding the death of this highly skilled, well-trained Army pilot, it is being said allegedly that this crash was not an accident. And this is what has been reported about this case. And according to information provided by the Public Affairs Office at Fort Stewart, Hunter Airfield, Captain Bellew was on medevac duty the night of the incident. And it was stated that as part of their requirements, the medevac crew, or the medical evacuation crew, they all sleep on site to remain on call during their shift. And that's because they need to be able to respond quickly to medical emergencies that may come up. Investigators say it was around 2 o'clock in the morning of March the 30th. While other crew members were asleep, Captain Bellew succeeded in taking off in one Black Hawk helicopter, similar to the one pictured here. So he was able to take off in one of the Black Hawk helicopter and crashing it into another that was not moving. He was the only person killed or injured during this accident, and as I already mentioned, his body was found at the scene later that morning. And as you already know, after every accident, there has to be an investigation, but investigators are left scratching their heads. They're puzzled because they're questioning how Captain Bellew was able to start at least one of the helicopters and take off in it without waking the crew or otherwise alerting those who may have been on the airfield, such as the air traffic controllers and other emergency personnel who just happened to be on duty. How could this have happened? They were asking how come no one heard this helicopter taking off? And when a helicopter is taking off, it's not silent. It makes a lot of noise. But what is particularly concerning is that in the absence of real substantive information, many people are theorizing how this accident could have happened. And as you might imagine, there are several theories going around on social media, and the most prominent was speculation that the aircraft was intentionally destroyed. Now, another report stated that the Army CID, along with the U.S. Army Combat Readiness Center, that they were going to both be working together to look into this incident to find out exactly what happened. So the Public Affairs Office, they did issue a brief statement confirming the accident. They did not share many more details. They did say that Bellew was the only person involved in the accident, but that they could not address the manner of the damage to the two aircrafts. They would not address the timeline of events. They would not confirm. Well, they did say they wouldn't confirm that all members of the crew were asleep. All right. And in fact, they would not confirm the responses from the tower and other emergency services. They would not confirm anything because they said the details are all part of the active investigation. They also stated they were not going to speculate as to the possible cause of death, but they did say in a statement that the Armed Forces Medical Examiner, based on the known facts and circumstances of the case, will determine the cause and manner of death. But again, in order to protect the integrity of the investigation, no further information will be released. Not very helpful. And so, except for this brief statement from the Army saying that the crash was under investigation and that CID was taking the lead, the Army essentially, they just went silent. They were not releasing any more information, but there was a need for more clarification. There was a need to put an end to some of the speculations, which, if not corrected, could create more harm than good. It was eventually leaked to the press that the incident, this helicopter crash that took the life of Captain Bellew, was not an accident. And I said, what the heck are people talking about? I could not believe what I was hearing. It was stated that a source familiar to the ongoing investigation had told the Army Times the incident was not an accident and that a criminal investigation was underway. And of course, this incident did make international news. And I saw this headline, this news, really a news story from an article published by the Daily Beast, which is a newspaper out of the United Kingdom. And then I saw that in addition to the headline, I want to focus to the last sentence on the page pictured here, and it said that the Criminal Investigation Division is now probing the crash, which indicates that criminal activity is suspected. So we're confused. If it was not an accident, and if Army CID is pursuing a criminal investigation, exactly what does that mean? In our minds, there are only two viable options. Was it the M word or was it the S word? We, the public, want to know. We want clarification. You just can't drop this bombshell on us and then remain silent. What does it all mean? We want to know. And as I already mentioned, there are several theories out there, but this continues to be one prevailing theory, and it's been published by several news sources, again pointing to this as a possible as a possibility of what may have happened. And one of the headlines, and several of the headlines, says that Captain Bellew killed himself. And again, as you already know, this has not been determined. It has not been confirmed. In fact, it may be several months before any information is ever released to the public. That is, if the Army chooses to tell us what happened at all. According to reports, Captain Bellew entered the Army in 2017 through the University of Virginia ROTC program. The report says he had completed one tour to the Republic of South Korea as a medical service officer before being selected to the medevac pilot program in 2018. He had been at Fort Stewart since March of 2020 and was serving as a platoon leader in his company. His awards and decoration include the Army Achievement Medal, the Expert Field Medical Badge, the Army Aviator Badge, in addition to other service ribbons and awards. Now, let me say, I understand the need for this investigation in order to determine what took place early that morning. I understand that. But, I believe there's a much bigger problem that needs to be addressed. And you know what? We may not want to talk about it, but there's an elephant in the room. And it brings to question an issue of safety and security. How safe is it that even though you have lots of people, including air traffic controllers on duty, how is it that no one was able to detect that a plane had taken off? To me, this is an issue of security, because the same way one plane was able to take off, another unwelcome plane could have come in, and that's my biggest concern. And Captain Bellew's funeral took place yesterday, April 24th, in his hometown in Virginia. I deliberately waited until after the funeral before posting this video so that it would not be a distraction in any way. You just never know who may see your video once it's posted. And sometimes, it's all about timing and sensitivity. And I saw where his funeral took place yesterday. And so we want to send our prayers and our condolences to his family and to his friends, and especially to that medevac crew at Hunter Airfield. The medevac team is just so small, and they work so closely together. I just know this is devastating. And it's devastating not just for them, but it's devastating for everyone. And so we wait for answers to those difficult questions. But in the meantime, we pause briefly to pay our respect to a fallen soldier who has served his country with distinction. So Captain James Bellew, rest well, my friend, and thank you for your service. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks just like this one here, it's the notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.